RaceSaver Nationals at Fork Mountain Raceway represents a gathering of clans of RaceSaver regions from all over the country. They come to meet their friends, make new stories, and relive old ones. Racing is unusual in that the intense competition with the drivers and crews breeds a bond that sets them apart from those devoid of such overriding passion. This is more than just a race. It is an opportunity to feed their passions for the complete racing experience. We'll let Jeff Taylor, former football player and now sprint car driver, compare the two.
I'm going to tell you, this is a little more exciting, the speed, the rush you get. Football's a totally different thing, you know, and it's totally different from when I played years ago and to how it is nowadays, but I enjoyed both of them.
Tony Harris comes from a racing family, and he just loves the atmosphere.
Everybody gets along so well, it's like a big family, I guess, you know.
When's the last time y'all had a fight?
I don't think we've ever had one, to be honest with you. Prince is a great guy. He keeps everybody pretty tight, so.
The core of RaceSaver is the working folks like Donnie Rutherford, who can come to the track without spending a fortune.
A friend of mine, they run a car on an asphalt track. He spends $40,000 to $50,000 a year to race for nothing. I haven't spent that kind of money since I've been racing. You can get in one of these cars for $10,000. So he's got 3 motors sitting in his shop that he can't use for $40,000. Throw money at it.
And you're still racing?
And I'm still racing, yep.
At the other end of the spectrum is Ray Evernham, who can race anywhere he wants.
French Grimes is doing the right thing. You know, racing across America is getting more and more expensive, and there needs to be an affordable way to race sprint cars for people to learn, to drive, and have fun. This does 2 things. It allows young people to learn, and it allows old people like me to have a little bit of fun. French is an amazing guy, and I really believe in what he's doing. You know, there's plenty of people out in front, you know, with NASCAR and IndyCar and doing things, but you know, racing started on the dirt tracks across America, and it started with families, and it started with people that had a car in every service station, and French is trying real hard to make something that's competitive and affordable, and I really support that.
Well, folks, as the cars come off the track from the last warm-up session, I'm going to give you the lineup for the first heat. In heat number 1, starting on the pole, number 88, Carl Simmons. On the outside of him is Tony Harrison, the number 6. Next row back, 17 of Jeff Taylor, the 14 of Brian Lawson, the 3Z of Justin Zapp, the 4 of Anthony Lincolnhoker, the 32 of Bill Rice, and the 25 of Donnie Rutherford. As their cars come to the line, we're going to get a green. Here they go. Into the first turn. Carl Simmons in the 88 leads them in. Harris on the outside. Lawson on the bottom. Lawson's looking on the bottom. Can't make it happen. Jeff Taylor's in 4th. Come off. The 88 is still holding on. Harris is underneath of him. He's going to get the drive off of 4. Harris is challenging Simmons on the back straightaway. He's in the lead. The 14 of Brian Lawson is looking inside of Simmons. Simmons slid high. Now we've got the 17 of Jeff Taylor's in 3rd. The 3 of Justin Zapp is 4th. Looks like the first 3 are breaking away pretty good. The blue 4 of Anthony Lincolnhoker is challenging for the 5th spot. He's going to look under the Justin Zapp fella. He's still not going to get it done. We're going to watch these up the back straighter where we're coming back. Our leaders are coming by. Our leader still in 3rd place is Jeff Taylor. Enter in turn 3, the leader, Tony Harris. And we've got Brian Lawson coming by in the 14. Jeff Taylor in the 17. A little ways back. We still got a little clot of cars back. We're focusing on the leaders here. They're pretty steady with each other now. They're running pretty even. We're halfway through, coming up on the end here. Not much change in the front. Looks like they've settled out. Not a lot of change in the action. The white flag's coming up. We're coming to the end here. This looks like the front three are pretty steady on where they're going to be. And at the flag, it's going to be the number 6 of Tony Harris, the 14 of Brian Lawson, the 17 of Jeff Taylor, 3Z of Justin Zapp, 4 of Anthony Lincolnhoker, 88 Carl Simmons, 32 Bill Rice, 25 Donnie Roedifer, 21 Kyle Reinhardt, and Kyle Reinhardt and Charlie Ware didn't start this event. They had little problems earlier. We're going to move on to heat number 2. As the cars come off the track, I'm going to give you the lineup for heat number 2. On the pole, the number 5 of Satch Worley, 47 of Tom Warwick, 01 of Greg Barchi, 36 of Mark Watkins, 2 of Aaron Statler, J9 of Gerald Harris, the 12 of Glenn Worrell, 13 of John Sneed, and the 48 of Brian Morgan. That is your lineup for heat number 2. They're coming to the flag. Here they go. Into the corner. We're studying to see this one out. We have to figure out what we got here. Looks like Satch Worley's got the lead. Yes, he does. Greg Barchi is pulled in there into second. Mark Watkins is challenging. I think I got that right. Let's see. Keep it straight in my head here. Pretty good dice going on the back straightaway there. We have Gerald Harris running in 5th right now. Gerald is pretty patient sort of fella as he works his way through. Ahead of him, we've got the 36 of Mark Watkins. They're having a pretty good race. Mark was our winner last year. He was our champion last year. I think I got it right. Anyhow, maybe it wasn't last year, but Mark has won the RaceSaver Nationals as a champion, and they're racing pretty good. Gerald Harris got by Mark. I believe Mark is driving a car that is owned by Rod Ort. Greg Barchi in the 01 dumping her in there pretty hard. Tom Warwick is giving chase in the 47. So right now it looks like we've got Satch Worley, Greg Barchi, Tom Warwick, and Gerald Harris. Gerald's looking pretty hard inside of Tom. There they go. That's a pretty good race in there. They're pulling it in pretty nice. Tom Warwick slides a little high, but he gets the drive off. There's a really good race going there. Again, these two are very well matched with each other. Let's see who gets in here. Really good side-by-side racing. The guys are keeping it neat. And at the flag, that little race was settled with Tom Warwick. And the finishing order was Satch Worley, Greg Barchi, Tom Warwick, Gerald Harris, Mark Watkins, Aaron Statler, Glenn Worrell, John Sneed, and Brian Morgan. We move on to heat number 3. Okay, here we go with the lineup on heat race number 3. On the pole is the 01P of Robbie Barchi. Now, Robbie, his brother just ran Greg in the heat before this. Robbie's from Pennsylvania. His brother is from Louisiana. He came all the way up to the Nationals, and they're both on the gas and running high. On the outside pole is a 17K of Steve Kennewell. Third is Ryan Lynn. Outside of him is Darren Bolak in the 44. 39 is Tom Humphreys. 19 is Ray Evernham. 95 is Billy Norfleet. 43 is Chris Ware, and the 04 is Ivan Shaver. That's your lineup, and here we're going to come to the green. Here we go, boys. They're lined up pretty good here. Kennewell gets the break from Barchi exiting turn 2. On the outside comes 26 of Ryan Lynn. Charging hard. Let's see what we got here. Kennewell in the lead. 44, Darren Bolak's in second. Read that wrong. Who we got here? Third is Ray Evernham. Ray has moved up from 6th position to 3rd position. He's on the hammer. And we got a little gap on back here now. Humphreys is running 5th. Car ahead of him. I can't quite read that one out. And Ryan Lynn is in 6th. I had him in the wrong place there. There's our 3 leaders. Evernham is hanging out in third. The 07, that one, the number does, they got a different wing on that one, unfortunately. I think that's the 01P, but anyhow, here we go. Let's see if I can get my ducks in a row here. Tom Humphreys in the 39, going inside the 07. Well, it's actually the 01P, so he's inside of Robbie Barchi. Humphreys in the 39 takes the point, your leader. See our leader coming around here. It's the 17K of Steve Kennewell. Second place is Darren Bolak in the 44. Third, Ray Evernham in the 19. They've pulled away from the pack a pretty good little amount. Ray's looking low. Let's see what he does. Got door shut a little bit. He pulled his nose in. White flag, 1 to go. Let's see what's going to happen here.
Follow the 01 at 26. They're going to try it again here.
And we get back on the main straightaway. We'll catch the finishing order as they come back here. Just 1 second here. We should see him coming around here. Your winners, Kennewell, Bolak, Ray Evernham, Tom Humphreys, Robbie Barchi, Ryan Lynn, Billy Norfleet, Chris Ware, and Ivan Shaver. Our next event will be the Dash. Here we go with our lineup for our Dash. The Dash is comprised of the top guys in the heats, and here's your lineup. On the pole, 17K of Steve Kennewell. Outside, the 14 of Brian Lawson, 5 of Satch Worley, the 6 of Tony Harris, the 44 of Darren Bolak, the 01 of Greg Barchi, the 19 of Ray Evernham, the 47 of Tom Warwick, and the 17 of Jeff Taylor. Here we go. Let's see what it looks like. Into the first turn, Kennewell on the high side. He gets the drive off the turn, ahead of Lawson. Satch Worley is running fourth outside of the 44 of Darren Bolak. See how they come down here. Evernham has now moved up to fourth from seventh. He's moving right along. Jeff Taylor on the inside of Satch Worley moving up. Evernham working hard on Darren Bolak. Got the underneath of him. Now he's going after Lawson. Let's see what happens here. Bolak's fighting back. A good little race there. He's underneath of Lawson. Into turn 3. Lawson moved a little high. May have got moved up a little bit. Anyhow, Evernham into second. Kennewell leading. Third at this point is Darren Bolak. Fourth is Brian Lawson. Here we come again. Kennewell still leading. Evernham. Bolak. Lawson. Satch, Worley, Jeff Taylor. Here we come again. Pretty good little race. Evernham's closing in pretty hard. He's kind of right at Kennewell now. On his tail. Let's see what he does. He's looking low. He's probably not going to make it this time. Pulls his nose out of there. Boy, they're tight coming off. Let's see what they do getting into one. Into one. Kennewell gets a good line in. Evernham still trailing. Off the back straightaway. No motion there. Gets a drive. Now they're nearly side by side on the white flag. Still hanging back. Evernham's dead on the bottom. Side by side off of 2. Good race. Drag race down the back straightaway. In on the bottom. Good racing side by side. Evernham with the drive off. Kennewell slid just a shade high. And that is your end. The finish is Ray Evernham, Steve Kennewell, Darren Bolak, Brian Lawson, Satch Worley, Jeff Taylor, Tom Warwick, Tony Harris, and Greg Barchi. That is your finish lineup for the Dash. We'll be back in a bit with the feature lineup. We're now ready for the feature of the RaceSaver Nationals at Fork Mountain Raceway. We've got competitors here from 7 states and 12 different regions. We've got a heck of a field lined up for you. The racetrack is holding up pretty nice. There's a 20 or 30 foot berm on the top that is loose stuff with plenty of drive left in it. The cars have not gone up high yet, but some will. We look for a pretty exciting race. Let me give you the lineup that we're going to start with, and then we'll move on to where the green flag falls. On the pole now, the way we determine this is out of the dash. we pulled pills for the inversion, and the inversion pills came up with this starting lineup. On the pole is Tom Warwick in the 47. Outside pole is 17, Jeff Taylor. Then comes 14 of Brian Lawson, the 5 of Satch Worley, the 17K of Steve Kennewell, the 44 of Darren Bolak, the 19 of Ray Evernham, the 6 of Tony Harris, 39 of Tom Humphreys, the 3Z of Justin Zapp, the 01 of Greg Barchi, the J9 of Gerald Harris, the 36 of Mark Watkins, the 01P of Robbie Barchi, the 26 of Ryan Lynn, the 4 of Anthony Lincolnhoker, the 2 of Aaron Statler, the 88 of Carl Simmons, the 95 of Billy Norfleet, the 12 of Glenn Worrell, the 43 of Chris Ware, the 32 of Bill Rice, the 13 of John Sneed, the 25 of Donnie Rodefer, the 48 of Brian Morgan, the 04 of Ivan Shaver, the 90 of Charlie Ware, and that completes your starting field. As we come to the green flag, I would like to remind all of our fans that this race is presented by the Virginia National Guard. We want to remember that all of our servicemen and women are protecting our freedom around the world so that we can have these events. Let's hope for a good, safe race, and here we go. At the start, coming down, this is going to be our lap just before the start. You can see the cars there on the beginning. Take a good look at your cars. Try to pick your favorites out. Notice we got a pretty good berm on the top. Some of them are going to use it. It may be later in the race. We've got 50-some laps here. We think they're going to use the berm later. Initially, they're going to run through the middle because there's still plenty of grip, but let's see how it turns out. A good-looking field going down the back straight, lining up into turn 1, waiting for the green flag. There's the green flag, and they're off into the first turn. Let's see. Advantage. Jeff Taylor right on the start. Went to, up on the top. That's Justin Zapp. I believe that's right, but it's a Zapp gentleman. Anyhow, here they come. A lot of mix about 4th and 5th. Right on the brake. Jeff Taylor got the brake going in. Going right away with it. Pretty good clot about 8th, 9th, and 10th. The 2 leaders have broke out a little bit. We're going to go to a split screen. You can kind of watch them, kind of pick your favorites where they're at and see what you can make out there. Strung out a little bit at the beginning. They're trying to get their sea legs under them a little bit and see where they're going with this thing. Now we've pretty much got cars all the way around the racetrack. We got Jeff Taylor coming into the picture. There we go. Boy, she's getting confused. Here we go. That's Tom Warwick running high in the 47. He does that all night. He has been running high all night. So have the Barchi boys. They've been up there quite a good little ways. There's your leader on the outside, entering 3, in 2, coming off of 2. Jeff Taylor. Brown Taylor, my goodness. Let's see what we have here. Jeff Taylor. Let's see. 3rd, I believe we've still got the 47, Tom Warwick Jr. We'll get in 2nd. Figure that out. Yeah, Tom Warwick's in 2nd. Ray Evernham now is in probably 5th. On the outside, now we got a yellow flag. Let's get regrouped and see where we're going to be here on this thing. As it gets slowed down, we'll get a rough count of where we're going to be on the yellow. Jeff Taylor got a heck of a start. He was gone away. We got a car a little slow on the inside. Warwick still high, running around. Then Lawson, then Evernham, then Tom Humphreys, Gerald Harris. Jeff Taylor's getting away a pretty good little ways for the time being. Let's see what else develops. Evernham is challenging hard on Lawson for 3rd. 5th is Tom Humphreys. So we have Jeff Taylor, Tom Warwick, Brian Lawson, Ray Evernham, Tom Humphreys. That's your top 5 at this moment. Let's see what comes out. All right, there we got on entering 1 on the top side, way up in the dust, way up in the dirt. No dust, a lot of dirt. Good drive for Jeff Taylor there. He's going around Glenn Worrell. He's into the middle of them. He poked his nose and pulled it out. He's around the outside of the 4 of Anthony Lincolnhooker. Looks like he's going to go around the 95 of Billy Norfleet. Going around the 2 of Aaron Statler. Still following and had poked his nose under there. He's right behind the 32 of Bill Rice. He's moving right along. Let's see here what we got. Right now, I believe second place is still Tom Warwick. Third is Ray Evernham. I'm going to lose my place here. It could easily happen. May have done it. I got looking elsewhere for a minute, but we'll get them picked up here in a second. There's Jeff Taylor down on the inside. And there's another one. Let's see. We'll pick him up on the back straightaway, so need the camera there. Well, didn't quite get the camera. A lot of close racing going on. Tom Humphreys going around the 2 of 12 of Glenn Worrell. On the back straightaway is Jeff Taylor pulling away. Still got a clock. We're focusing on the action back here with some serious racing going on. I'm trying to see how that all shakes out. There's another one way up in the dirt. That's Greg Barchi. There, Ray Evernham got into a car. He was in second at the time, and he's turned her around there. He got in a little hot, off of turn 2, got the rear of the guy and turned himself around. We'll have to see how this develops, whether they take him on the hook or there. Here's a replay of it. They were 5 wide at that point. It probably didn't work too hot for 5 wide. But the rest of the cars avoid the mess. And we'll take a look at this thing in slow-mo so you can see how it all happened. But somebody was way on the top and gathered it up, and then Ray went on the very bottom, and it was 5 wide. Let's see what it looks to me that we only have 1 car damaged there. Okay, we pick up with our leader after the yellow. That's Jeff Taylor coming off of 2. Some of the lap cars are still sorting themselves out. Jeff Taylor is followed by, in the lineup, by Robbie Barchi, but he's a lap car. Brian Lawson, Tom Warwick, Tom Humphreys, Gerald Harris, Ryan Lynn, Bill Rice, Darren Bolak, Steve Kennewell. Come to the green. Got them strung out pretty good. They're going to get mixed up again pretty soon. And here they come. The green is out. Taylor's away. On the very top, Tom Warwick working the top. Ray Evernham ducking under the bottom. Let's see where he's at. No, Evernham, I got that wrong. So Brian Lawson, Evernham still broke down in the pits. He's hung up there working on his car. Oop, now there's let's back up and look at that one again. That was Tom Humphreys and Brian Lawson, looks like to me. Let's back up and see if we can get a little bit better view. When we do a replay of this on the back straightaway in slow-mo, we see that Brian Lawson is pretty ahead. Tom Humphreys is going low, entering 3. There's a pretty good distance between them at this point. Humphreys got a pretty good drive on the bottom. Coming along. They're moving closer to each other. At this point, right there's contact. Both up on the bottom. Tom needed to come up a little bit. Brian probably come down a little bit. And the result is contact. Tom's around and over. There's no hurt, no injury to anybody. And hurt a few feelings and bent a wing out. But other than that, we're pretty good. We're getting set to go back to the green.
this time. This time around, line them up, one to go, blink the lights, let them go.
Well, we've got all our wreckage cleaned up. The cars that are running are back in the line. Ray Evernham's got his car fixed. He's back on the track. He's probably a couple down at this point. We'll have to check scoring to see for sure, but he's down at least one, maybe two. Tom is in the pits. He's kind of done. His car's wrinkled up. Brian Lawson continued along. He's now going to restart in second place. So our leader on the restart is Jeff Taylor, then Brian Lawson, Tom Warwick in the 47. Tom's doing a heck of a job. He's hanging in there, going good and running high. Then we've got Ryan Lynn in the 26, Darren Bolak, Gerald Harris, Steve Kennewell, Justin Zach, Mark Watkins. There are a few lapped cars in here as we go through the rest of the order, but here we go. We're coming to the green. Let's see what we got. Pretty close restart. Jeff Taylor got away a little bit, not much. Lawson's there. His challenge there. He and Tom Warwick are fighting each other a little bit. Let's see what we got here. Pretty good little race. Things are developing back in the back. Gerald Harris back there, 9th or 10th, pretty quiet, but he comes along here. See if I can see as things develop here. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. And the 3X goes around. We're going to have to pull a little short caution to get this one cleaned up. 3Z, excuse me. 3Z. That's the Justin Zapp fella. A little rotation there. We'll get it cleaned up and we'll be back. I'll give you the lineup here in just a second. Well, we're ready to go. Here's the lineup for the restart on lap 20. Your leader, who has led every lap so far, he got a break on the green. He's still doing a heck of a job out front. It's Jeff Taylor. Brian Lawson is in second. Tom Warwick is in third. Ryan Lynn is in fourth. Darren Bolak, Gerald Harris, Mark Watkins, Steve Kennewell. We're about ready to go. Let's see how it shakes out. Here they come. Well, they're a little strung out at the start, but not terrible. Boy, high on the outside with Ryan Lynn. Now he ducks under. Pretty good deal. Looks like we're holding up pretty good on the racetrack. They're still running low. A couple of guys are experimenting with the high line. One of them's Jeff Taylor there. He's going to, looks like he's using that quite a bit more. And on the high line all night has been Tom Warwick, doing a heck of a job on the top. He got up to the fence a time or two. I hope we don't bite him. He's going pretty good. They're encountered a few slower cars, moving right on through. Boy, that's a good shot. 3 wide, 4 wide there coming off. Gerald Harris was in it next. And they're on the bottom moving through. Ray Evernham on the bottom starting to go. We got one slowing down on the top. We'll have a short yellow here. We're getting recaptured. Well, pretty darn short yellow because we're still going. Yeah, now we finally got the yellow. Whoop! Now we got another one on the inside. Ryan Lynn. I'll be darned. We had a little yellow on the back straightaway. A fellow slid high and stopped. And Ryan got himself caught up in something. Let's see what takes place there. Ryan, high. Where is he at? There he is, right there. Has a little contact. Let's see who that's with. Okay. That would be Darren Bolak, I believe. It looks like Ryan needed to come down. He was going to get into the fence, and Darren was easing up, and it looked like Ryan saw it coming, but didn't do too awful much to save things. We had a little contact. It's been up a little bit. I'm sure they're both unhappy, but unfortunately, Ryan's out of the race. And we got to get one off turn 2. That's Bill Rice. He's lost power or something. He hadn't wrecked. He just lost power up in turn 2. We'll gather these up and get back to you with a lineup in just a bit. getting set to go back green on lap 27. Your leader is Jeff Taylor. Brian Lawson hanging steady in second. Tom Warwick in third. Gerald Harris fourth. Darren Bolak, Steve Kennewell, Mark Watkins, Tony Harris, Ray Evernham, and Billy Norfleet. Ray Evernham is down a lap or so, but he's moving up. He's going to put a show on here. Here we come. I've got our turn 3 and 4 camera working. Now we got a different shot to look at. Give you a little bit more to look at. There's Ray taking off. Let's see in the back. Got a little confusion, not too much. And here comes Jeffy, nearly into the lap cars on the end of his first lap. He is on a mission. Jeff Taylor is going after it. Let's see what we got. These shots are pretty interesting. Looks like they're all hugging the bottom, but there's plenty on the top if they want to go use it. We'll see who wants to go up there. Shooting back in our turn 1 camera now, watching them come off. Again, your leader is Jeff Taylor, Brian Lawson, Tom Warwick, Gerald Harris, Darren Bolak. Fighting for every piece of real estate, some of these guys are. Let's see if we'd like to get our shot back on our turn 3 camera that you can see the car numbers right smart better. Oh, that boy, oh boy, there's Ray inside of him. I'm not sure who that is, but he's pushing hard. He's closing in on the 17 car. Running hard. Let's see what we got here. I'm bound to see something. Pretty good racing, and so far they're using still the middle of the track. Nobody's moving up. Occasionally somebody will get up in the loose stuff, and they still get a drive, so let's see what's going to happen here. There's our leader coming around. There's Jeff. Boy, they're right tight on each other there. Gerald Harris is in that 4th position there. Wow, that's pretty interesting. 3 and 4 wide there. Let's see, we carried 1 high there pretty good. What do we got coming here? Let's see what we got. Got away from me a little bit. I can't quite figure that one out. They're dragging the fence coming off of 2 up there. A couple of them are. Certainly Tom Warwick is. He's up there. You see him entering in the middle of 3 and 4 now. Jeff Taylor, Gerald Harris, Ray Evernham, lap car, but he's in there fighting. Jeff Taylor heads on by. Lap car, he's in pretty much lap traffic right now. Brian Lawson still hanging in there, followed by Gerald Harris. What we got here? Pretty good mix. They're coming up on, let's see, there's Evernham moving up, just following Gerald Harris in the J9, I believe. Follow things as they go here. Going around Glen Worrell. Pretty good clock car. Woo, that got close. Gerald got through. Got right there, 3 wide right there. Let's see what we got. 1 going in the pits. No yellow. They're keeping going here. Barchi boy's holding tough on the outside there. Ray Evernham gets into the Barchi boy. No harm there, but they bumped around a little bit. Let's see what we got here. Gerald Harris backed his nose out of that for a minute and kept himself from getting tangled up. Let's see what else happens. Oop, Tom Warwick on the top. He's got a problem. Car's wobbling. I believe he's really hanging on there, but I believe he's pretty wobbly. Let's watch the 47. He's in a little tough shape. Whoop! Well, we were watching the 47, and Billy Norfleet got himself turned around and mounted the wall off of turn 4. I don't think he's hurt himself, other than he might have hurt his feelings a little bit. Let's see if we can get this one off the fence and get him back into action. We're getting set for a restart on lap 47. Your leader for the whole race, no less, is Jeff Taylor. Really, Jeff's done a heck of a job. The invert gave him a good starting position, and he's absolutely made the best of it. Second on the track, but a lap or so down, is Ray Evernham. Second in the order is Gerald Harris, starting third. Darren Bolak, Mark Watkins, Brian Lawson, Steve Kennewell. And then we have lap cars of Anthony Lincoln-Hoker, Glen Worrell, Greg Barchi. Let's see how they go. Here they come to the green. On the brake. Jeff Taylor drives away. Ray Evernham is trying to pursue him, trying to unlap himself one here. See what takes place. He hasn't got much time to do anything. And I believe that Jeff Taylor is just too strong for anybody to mess with tonight. He's held the lead, kept it up out there. We ended up losing Tom Warwick. He flattened the tire, so he's out of the event. And he ran well into lap 47. Ray Evernham trying to make something happen. Moving a little dirt around there. We haven't got any dust, but we got a loose dirt moving now. Too much of a layoff, I reckon. There he is, Jeff Taylor heading in on the outside. Ray hammering it hard, trying to unlap himself. The true second place car is Gerald Harris, and I think third will be at that point Darren Bolak. Let's see. There's the white flag. Let's see what we got here. Big action still going. They're still fighting pretty hard for it. And we see the tail of the field, and here they come on the last lap. There's your winner, going to the checkered flag, Jeff Taylor, followed by the lap car of Ray Evernham. Then we're going to have Gerald Harris, Brian Lawson. I've got to get my finish up here. We'll get the exact finish in order, and we check timing and scoring. We'll be back to you within a second. Here's a replay of the last couple of laps, and here we see Jeff Taylor high, Evernham right on the pole. Then we have Gerald Harris, Brian Lawson, and I believe the next one will be Mark Watkins, Darren Bolak, Steve Kennewell. I believe that is the finish. I'm not positive, but just hang on here. I do believe that is the finish. We got replays again where you can see what's going on the last couple of laps. We hope you can sort out your favorite and see what they did the last couple of laps, but that is the finish. We'll be back with the victory lane interviews of all the participants. We're going to interview all the drivers and have a word or two with each one of them. Stay right with us, and we'll be right back with the victory lane. Jeff Taylor, the winner of the 13th annual RaceSaver Nationals, led it most of the way. Probably the biggest win ever for you, isn't it?
It was pretty big, I'll tell you what. That was a thrill, and it was a great race. I bet we passed 100 cars tonight.
Tell me about another big win while we're at it.
Well, which one are you talking about? Being here was big enough. We enjoyed this. This was great. And this is our new home. We're going to stay with 305s. This was great.
We're going to stay with the RaceSaver cars. 305s can be any bastard thing.
RaceSaver 305s, you got it.
Tell us a little bit more about your reflections on tonight and what you think about.
Well, when I first came down, we came down here last night, and I was a little thinking, wow, maybe this track will work. Looked at the lighting, I thought, wow. Well, didn't look that good to me, but what a beautiful surface. The lighting was great. I wish we could take some of this clay back with us up north, because we don't have anything like this, nothing at all.
Well, this clay here is the crappiest clay ever. If you put enough water on it, it'll turn out. There was a cushion in 1 and 2, and that's unheard of in the South. You ran the cushion quite a bit.
We had to get up there to get around some of the cars. I wanted to run one time because I went real hard, wanted to see who was behind me, and I seen Tom Warwick back there. I said, wow, he's staying right with me. So I knew I had to pick it up and really get going and make sure he didn't get up underneath me.
Warwick ran a good race. You ran a little bit better one. We're pleased to have you here. Thank you for coming to the Nationals. We're going to go through our guys. Thanks. We're going to talk a little bit more, visit with everybody. Thank you so much, Jeff.
I want to say one thing. French, this is a great thing you do here. This is really fun, and you're a great host. We had a great breakfast and a great dinner last night. Everybody wants to thank what you've done for us.
Thank you all very much. Here's this is your first. Stay here. Come. This is a first place trophy for the Paul White Memorial Race. This is P.J. White, his son. We're pleased to have you win it.
Good race. Good race.
Thank you very much.
I'll come back to you guys, please don't leave. All right, let's go.
Our second place finish, Gerald Harris, drove a very good race. It was in question for a while. Not for us because we watched it. And the second on the track was Ray Evernham. We're going to talk to him in a minute. He did a hell of a recovery job from having his car tore up. So he was, I guess, what would you call a moral victory for him to come back that far? He was running hard. You were running hard too, Gerald.
Yeah, Ray did a good job. I'd like to congratulate the winner. I couldn't have caught him. I mean, he just outclassed the field tonight.
Ray, will you come up here? I want you to get your fast time trophy.
There's the second place.
The second place trophy here for Gerald Harris. Standing here, Gerald. Where is our fast time trophy? Gerald, give him the fast time trophy here. Both you boys get in the picture. Get a one on each side here. That'll be fine. Gerald here, Ray in the center, and Tony over here. Your father, Bobby, was an inspiration to us. We miss him a lot. We have a perpetual trophy in his name. This for fast time, and it will stay that way. And Ray, you've won the fast time trophy, and you won a moral victory tonight for a hell of a run from the back. So you should be pretty tickled. What do you think?
Well, first of all, I really want to say I know it means a lot to the Harris family because we just lost my dad not long ago, so proud of it. It's kind of funny standing between them two boys there because I thought Gerald was going to whoop me. I got into him pretty good when I was coming through that traffic, and apologize to him for that. But had a good car, just got tangled up in lack of traffic and banded up. So but they fixed it, and they said, well, you're one lap down, and we were trying to unlap ourselves and see what happened, but just couldn't get there.
Very good effort. Thanks a lot. Mark Watkins, our third place finisher. Last year's champion, year before, I'm sorry. Last year was Tom Humphreys. We had a lot of our last year's champions have difficulties tonight. Mark, we had to review the finish to see where it was. You okay with it?
I'm okay with it. I'm very okay with it, but I know me and Bolak were racing hard. I had to race hard the whole race to get to where I was, and video evidence, you can't get past that, so I'm glad it ended up the way it did.
Thank you very much for coming. I appreciate it. Hope you all had a good time. You've had some bad luck here when you've been in a bad mood when you left. Are you a little bit – you get in a bad mood pretty easy. Is this mood okay for you?
Yeah, this mood's better, but I learned a bad mood off somebody named French Grimes.
Okay, good enough.
Don't share that with your car under Roger Penske now, okay? That's what Tom calls him.
Thank you very much for coming. We really appreciate it. Darren Bolak, our fourth place finisher. Got him where you want him? Well, I don't know if we got you where you want him. It was a good run, Darren. We had to go to video evidence. We'd like to have it a little closer down. You may have actually been at the line, but it was awfully close. So I wish we had one at the finish line. We'll get a finish line camera next year. How about that?
Nah, it'll work. It was just a good time racing that close with Hawkins. A lot of room. I screwed up, ran over 26 car. I want to apologize for that. Damn sure didn't mean to do it. Me and Hawkins had a great race, a good race, great weekend for all the racers, I believe, and fans come out. A lot of fun.
Well, we're going to have a movie later, so movie at 10, right? Thank you so much for coming.
I'd like to thank AAA Tidewater, Ellie Bounce Electrical, and my car owner, Rick Ball. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Also your cousin, Rick Ball, right?
And our fifth place winner, fifth place finisher, winner, whatever you want to call him. You actually looked pretty sporty for a while, but at the very end, it wasn't quite as sporty, was it?
I'm a truck driver. I got wore out.
Yeah, well, suck your stomach in and stand tall, right?
That's it. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate everything everybody did and everybody coming out to watch us. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much. You ran second most of the time. You ran the curb. Was there a cushion up there?
Yes, sir.
There was a cushion. I want everybody to understand there was a cushion in the south. Okay?
And my tires didn't squeal.
And your tires didn't squeal. Tell us about the cushion.
It was awesome until I had a flat tire and it sucked me into the guardrail, and that ended my night.
Up to that point, it was fun and games.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Guys were good to race with, and
Is your dad happy?
not till we get back and see what all is broke.
Well,
I think he should be. At least it's not in pieces. So
it was a hard run, though. You should have been awfully proud.
I was happy. I was proud and happy, and to come down here and run with all you guys, and they treat everybody like family. It's a good deal.
Well, thank you very much for coming. Thank your dad for helping us.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay. Come back to me. Billy Norfleet. What can I say, Billy? Why don't you say it for me? Why don't you tell me what your night was like tonight? And I won't say a word. I'll just listen to you.
How many ways can I apologize? I've had a rotten season. I can't seem to get this new chassis working with me. I can't get it in the racetrack. I have spun out more this season and been a burden on the entire series, and I apologize. If it isn't one person having to dodge me, it's another. Tonight I got last year's race winner, Tommy Humphreys, may have ruined his chances tonight. I don't know. And ultimately, the car came around later in the evening. As I changed the gear, I said, I'm going to go ride around and put the car in the trailer. Well, the track came to the car came to the track. It got all sporty. I was moving forward.
Anyhow, let me ask you a question, Billy. The car came around. Do you think it's when you kind of came around yourself?
Oh, yeah. I changed my driving style, obviously. I calmed down and slowed down, and a lot of times you slow down to speed up, and it worked. I got right racy, and until Tony had a little problem out there and was coming off the track, I was looking for a caution and didn't see it, so I went to slip under him, and instead I slipped into another one, and up on that guardrail off the fourth turn once again this year. This time I ended up on it. Last year I just did a pirouette off of it. So
how did you get turned around down in here in 1 and 2 the very first lap?
You tell me. I mean, the track was still wet and wormy, slimy, if you ask me. Right. And I just went to just clean the mud out of my tires. I wasn't trying to even go yet, and it took little or nothing to spin it. I mean, it just came around as if someone was behind me pushing it. And of course, I had to collect somebody. And once again, sorry, guys.
Well, thank you very much, Billy. You've explained yourself very well. Others may add, but you did a great job.
Maybe next year.
Thank you, Billy.
Thank you.
Tony, tell us something here. You were doing pretty good for a while and then not so hot later.
Yeah, it was going okay there, I guess. I got a little warm, so I figured before I hurt something, I better turn her to the infield, so that's what I've done.
And all the wheels are turning, unlike a few others.
Yeah, at least that's one main thing. We didn't tear up nothing, so it's a good night, I guess. And I want to thank you for having us here. We really appreciate coming down here racing and love racing with all you guys and had a blast.
Thank you, Tony. Appreciate it. Anthony's pretty quiet. Tonight he was pretty quiet. Your wheels are still turning. How did you accomplish that?
I'm a bottom dweller. I just sucked down to that bottom all night and tried to stay out of the way. That was about the best I could do. The car was good. I run what I had. And, this is a great time, French. It's not about the racing. I mean, the racing is great, but we come here and eat. You get to meet these people from Louisiana and Texas and Pennsylvania that, nowhere other in your life would you come about these people without racing. And, it's been a good time, another great time. Let's do it next year.
We will. Thank you very much, Anthony. Chris Ware. I want Charlie up next, wherever he's at.
He's trying to work his way down here.
Charlie, get over here, please.
We can do them together. Father-son team, they ran together.
Come on here.
There for a long time. Looked up every time that he was right there with you.
This was Fritz the Cat show, and whatever the thing was that they chased each other around. What was a cat that chased a mouse or whatever? You two were going at it. So between the two of you, tell me a little about your evening and your race.
had a good time. The car felt really good, depending on where you were in the track. Track was nice. I had a good time. Thank you for having us.
Well, I'm glad you came. The mic goes again. But Charlie, and somebody said, remind me to ask Charlie after the race. He said it was going to be dry and dusty. And your reflection is?
I was wrong again.
That's a tough deal to be wrong again.
No, it's not.
I wouldn't have bet against you.
Well, I'm sorry.
No, please don't be. I wouldn't have bet against you.
Well, just from the way it looked earlier, I thought it might have dried up a little bit, but it held up good, and I think everybody had a good race.
I thought it was going to be bad, too. Thank you all for coming. Glenn Worrell of Worrell Racing. Come on in there. Stand where you want him. Right there. That's good. Yeah, everybody's cheering. Glenn, you got out of here in one piece. I'm glad you came.
Yes, sir. What an awesome night. The track was excellent, as always. Got to thank French Grimes for doing all he does. A lot of people don't know this, but every car here has had his hands on it once upon a time, and without him, none of us go. So I got to give a hats off to French, Jim and Annette Haynes. I want to thank my beautiful wife, my lovely kids, Peyton and Taylor, Maddie Fellman, he helps me a lot, and just want to thank all the fans for coming out.
Thank you, Glenn. Good to have you here.
Thank you, sir.
Come on.
Steve Kennewell.
Steve Kennewell. Well, you're a new face for us because you come out of elsewheres. Yep. Tell us where you come from and tell us how this trip was.
I'm from Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, and this trip was almost didn't happen.
Because?
We broke our motor 2 weeks ago. Jim Stinger worked his butt off getting it put back together, and then I left Friday morning and the brakes went out of my truck, so I had to call a friend and borrow a truck at 7 o'clock in the morning.
Well, it was dedication to get here. Now, Jim Stinger, you're the one that barked at me pretty hard about them damned heads. Did I make it happen or not? Okay. Yeah, but, you barked up on me pretty hard. Where were they? I got my job done.
We got her done tonight, too.
You did indeed. The motor ran good. You all did a good job. You drove down and got the damn heads, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And I drove back ever how many miles from here just so he could get the damn heads. I appreciate you coming. I appreciate your dedication. I appreciate you getting his motor done for him so he could come. Thank you very much.
I also need to thank Roger Watkins. He had a big part to play in that. And obviously Jim. So, and thank you, French, for driving back from here to get us those heads.
Thank you all for coming.
He's the godfather of the Hollidaysburg bunch. Slinkyville. Yeah, that's right. He's the Slinkyville. You can't get away from Slinky.
Well, Ryan, you were doing pretty good, and then finally, tell us about it.
Well, fate, I guess, down here. I haven't had too much good luck down here, but we just got to the outside and got a little pinched off, that's all. But, hey, stuff happens. So, but we were running good. We thought we had at least a top 2 car, but we'll come back next year and give it our all.
It looked pretty good to me, and I really appreciate you coming down here. Really appreciate you coming.
Well, I appreciate you having this race. I mean, we have a ball of fun coming down here, and I want to thank all my crew and everybody, my dad, everybody. It just helps me out to get here. So, but we'll see you next year.
Thanks for coming.
Justin Zapp, the 3rd crew last year.
This is Justin?
Justin Zapp. He's Joe Zapp's son. And
all right.
Nephew.
All right, we have some of the now what is Zapp really? This is your Justin Zapp, but tell us the long version of Zapp.
Zapotozny. Yeah.
Spell it.
Zapotozny.
And is that a Latin name?
It was Austrian, and we just found that out about a month ago.
Well, I was pretty sure it wasn't Latin. I was just messing with you. Well, we got more Zapps down here racing. We're glad you came. Tell us a little bit about your trip.
I was glad to come down. I turned 21 here Thursday, and this was kind of like a birthday present from my dad to bring me down here and race. And I came down. I got a 11-year-old car. I got a 7-year-old motor, and to come down here and run the way it did, I think at time 6, I was having fun. I love this track. I want to come down again. We had a little incident there in turn 2. I think it was coming up through the field and had a good car. Just ended up spinning out and had to start the back. But I'll just come back next year and finish it.
We hope you come back next year and bring friends with you, bring more of the Zapp family.
We'll try.
Thank you very much.
Let's get both Barchi brothers up here. See them both here. Let's get them both up here. We got the north and the south.
Well, let's see. North is this way. So anyhow, Robbie and Greg Barchi.
Yes, Robbie.
I know it's Robbie. Tell us, get in here close to your brother. Tell us how come you're here, and then how come your brother's here, and where he races, and what he races under, and so forth and so on. You tell your story, he'll tell his.
All right. I'm out of Pennsylvania. It's where we grew up. He left for the military 20-some years ago and ended up in Louisiana, and that's where he lives. And doing the RaceSaver deal, and this was a good opportunity for me and him, spend some time together and race. Had a real good time.
What region are you running RaceSaver?
The Western PA.
And your home is?
I live by Greensburg.
And the track that you'll be headquartered at this year?
Dog Hollow Speedway up in Indiana.
And your group that you race with, the RaceSaver group you race with?
I race with the Southern Thunder Sprint Series out of western Louisiana and eastern Texas.
We noticed earlier yesterday in time trials that you rode them high, not afraid to die type of deal guy.
Well, I'd like to thank you for providing such a good track, and I just figured I needed to run a little harder, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, it looked pretty exciting, and you did well. We really appreciate the both of you coming. Thanks so much. We look forward to see you next year, and we look forward to your region getting off with a bang up there.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, French, for everything. Aaron Statler.
All right, remember to hold the mic out a little bit.
Down here?
Yeah.
No, on them too?
No, just you.
Aaron, move over this way just a little bit. Aaron Statler, you've been racing for how many years now, Aaron?
Probably about 3 in my own car and 1 in Schultz's car.
All right. And you own your own car now?
I do.
Who pays all the bills?
I do.
How do you make the money to pay the bills?
Work 3 jobs.
Is it fun?
The working the jobs or the racing?
The result of racing.
It's fun.
Okay, who came down with you?
I have my dad here and my crew chief, Kurt.
Well, we appreciate you coming. You were running pretty hard out there a bunch, I thought.
Yeah, the car was working good this year. Better than it has in past years, and we just didn't make it happen.
Tom Warwick tells me that in the age of big money motors, on any given night, Aaron can go out and whip them up.
Yeah, we don't have a big money motor, that's for sure.
Well, we're really pleased to have you down here. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you, French.
Bye-bye. Tom, last year's winner. I had got more help to lift your car off so it would go again. But in the end result, it didn't matter much, did it?
No, not really. We had a good run going, and just one of them racing incidents, I guess, and we ended up upside down tonight.
You were under the car coming off down here, and your right front caught his left rear. Turned you like this. Turned you up the track, and when the cars turn right, they turn over.
Yeah, I thought I had a good run on him in the middle of the corner, and he got a good bite and shot straight down, and it was between him and the guardrail, and I tried to check up and not get into him, but still got in him a little bit, and then they got the guardrail, and that spun me around and stood me up, and upside down we went. So.
Did it hurt much on the car?
We just broke a shock mount and messed the wing up. If we hadn't broke a shock mount, I believe I'd have tried to run with the guys without a wing, just to have fun. But
and I'd have been proud of you.
But it's just part of it, and we'll be back.
Thank you a lot for coming, Tom. Appreciate it. Quit profiling. Satch Worley, one of our, come on in here. One of our advertised stars. Going pretty good for a while. Tell us about your weekend.
Well, our weekend almost wasn't. You know, we've had a car that really wasn't run about most of the season. You know, and we thought we did about everything we could do. You know, and it wouldn't run. So it either run early in the race or run late in the race, but it wouldn't run the whole race.
Well, this ran the whole race up until there was no race.
Yeah, she was hitting tonight. I got nobody to thank but you for that. You know, we found we fixed the problem, whatever it was. You fixed the problem, but I really still don't know what it was.
That was called a kitchen sink repair job, everything including the kitchen sink, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we started from the nozzles and came all the way out, you know, but car was running good, and, you know, it was actually working pretty good, and we were just kind of riding there to start with, and just got hung up on a lap car there when the caution came out, and I just got a little bit close on him and hung in left front.
Well, appreciate you coming. You'll be back next year, I hope.
Planning on it.
Thank you. Give me another one here. Yeah.
One more time.
Brian Morgan here. Tell us about your evening, Brian.
It was a good show, man.
Turn and face the camera.
I come out of there with 4 wheels and a wing, and that's all I can ask for. It was a good time and enjoyed it. And it was great.
Well, I'm glad you came. We look forward to seeing you next year. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that's the end for tonight. The RaceSaver Nationals are in the can. The party continues on. We look forward to seeing you next year. Thanks for coming.